It's fine. Then it is a quality indicator. Yes. It gives us the motivation. Yes. Anything more? Anything more? It gives us an opportunity to improve. Can I say it gives us an opportunity to improve? Okay. It is like an introspection. It's like an introspection. As some motivation. Okay. A reputation. Yes. It is also going to improve the reputation. Fine. Scope for improvement. Yes, scope for improvement. I think rankings give us the scope for improvement. Okay. Then, then. Okay, fine. So I think if you are exhausted with the advantages of ranking at funding, okay, good. Better ranking, better funding, better ranking, better students, better ranking, better money, better ranking, better collaborations, better ranking, better research, better ranking, better faculty. I think everything goes well if as long as you are doing great. But what is the flip side of ranking? I think kinds of arguments. Yes, yes, we require ranking. Uh, yes, and there is also another school says that we should not have ranking at all. Is there anybody who would like to argue for that? Is there anybody to argue about it? Discrimination. Okay. It also helps students to choose, of course, discrimination. Okay, somebody said, it is a discrimination. Okay, number one. Then, and somebody said, it's a motivation. Somebody also can say it is a demotivation. Why it is demotivation? Participating, but your ranks are not improved. And are the top 10 players, 20 players, 30 players, they keep on sitting there only. They are not giving any opportunity for others to get into them. They are not sliding down. They are staying there. So in spite of all our efforts, still we are not moving anything anyway. Or maybe sometimes people below us, if they are working so hard, then they all try to surpass us, and they try to be ahead of us. Okay? This is one kind of a issue. What else? Yeah. What else? Anything else? No, I wanted to hear, please.
If you take ranking process positively, then either you win or you learn something.
Okay. There is no losing, either winning or learning. No lose. You're not going to lose anything.
Yes, sir.
Either you win or you learn something new. Good. Instead of winning or losing, it is winning or learning. Fine. Anything else? I am only wanted to hear something from you. Why ranking should not be there? Why ranking should not be there? Why ranking should be there? I have 101 reasons. But there are also some colleagues of mine, wherever I go to various kinds of workshops and training programs, and there are some group of people strongly argue. I think this ranking is not good. Why? What is that? What is there in their favor? What are the points are there in their favor? Why there should not be ranking? Yes. Yes, please. I'm not doing anything. Let me see. Too much administrative work, focus shift away from teaching and research. Okay, this is fine. Too much of administrative work, focus shifts away from teaching and research. Leads to rat race. Okay, fine. Yeah. So that means, more or less, we are with the process. we are not really saying that there should not be any ranking, or even we are no one to say that, because already the decisions are made and you are supposed to participate in the ranking. You are not participating in the ranking process, you are not visible, you are nobody will recognize you, and also people may think that you are not participating in the ranking process because you are afraid that you are not going to find a place. These are the kind of challenges we have. So now, whether we like it or not, we have to go for rankings, we have to go for accreditation. And for example, if you are from engineering institution, we need to have AICT kind of an approval every year. And also, we after some point in time, we have to go have for NBA approval if it's AICT approved institutions. And the NAC is mandatory because of that 2F and 12B status and other things also, when people are speaking about NAC, I think, the grants we wanted to receive from government, I think people are also insisting for NAC. Or sometimes, when you are applying for projects, people also looking for whether your institution is NAC accredited or not. If it is NAC accredited, then I think there is some kind of assurance that this project will be completed successfully without any problem. This is also other kind of a argument. So now we have come to a stage where we cannot say no to AICTE, we cannot say no to NBA, we cannot say no to NAC, we cannot say no to NIRF, we cannot say no to these international rankings. International rankings, you have a choice whether to participate or not. But NIRF, you may have to participate because if you are into NIRF top some number of institutions, I think you are going to have a lot of advantages. So now you tell me before I proceed further, if you are NAC accredited institution with A double star or A, what are the benefits you are going to have? What are the benefits you are going to have if you are with the NAC institution with a high score?
Sir, you get academic autonomy as
Number
well
one,
as
yes.
yeah. If you get a grade, and if you are accredited with a good grade, you also get a lot of funds from the UGC and other institutions for the future development.
Okay, you get the funds and you get the autonomy. Okay,
yes,
that graded autonomy. The grade autonomy,
yes.
what the UGC is speaking, you are consistently doing well. Consistently, you are doing well on the NAC score. Then you will be given a grade autonomy. Then you need not go to UGC for smaller things.
Yes.
Sometimes starting new programs and new. So you need not go to UGC. You can probably make a decision at your level. This is one advantage.
It is academic autonomy.
Academic autonomy. The second thing what you said is, if you are consistently doing well, there may be some preference for your grants. So tomorrow some schemes, some projects, some grants, some special grants also you are entitled for. Then what else? What else? You are also get some kind of a freedom to offer certificate courses, distance education programs, PG diploma programs, by taking a decision at your level. If you are a graded autonomy and because of your NAC performance, you can do some kind of courses, distance courses or certificate courses or short-term courses on your own without even taking UGC's approval. So this is another kind of a benefit. And also there are a lot of indirect benefits. You are a NAC accredited institution, better NAC accredited institution. Obviously, if you look at the parameters of NAC and the parameters of NIRF, parameters of world ranking systems, more or less everybody is speaking the same. There may be the weightages are different, the proportions are different, but everybody is more or less speaking the same. So if you are good at one place, most likely you can be good at other places. If you are not good at one place, most likely you are not good at other places. So that there would be a kind of a multiple benefit. If you are doing one at one place, you are doing one good at one place, and obviously you may be probably doing good at other places. Okay. So then ranking benchmarking is a standard to increase the trust in the system. Higher learning institutions to know their strengths, opportunities. Okay, fine. Okay. So now that is also another advantage. And also there are some other benefits that, whenever you go to a funding agency like DST, DBT, ICSSR, or from a NAC better grade institution or NIRF better ranked institution, I think you will be given little more advantage over others. Of course, your proposal should be good, and as a investigator, you should have your own profile and other things. But all other things being equal, the NAC accreditation or NIRF ranking is going to get more benefit. Then what else? You are able to attract better quality students, of course. And also, there are some international collaborations. When we go for international collaboration, they will ask you, where do you stand in QS ranking? Where do you stand in QS ranking? So that is how they are going to ask us. Where do you stand in the Times Higher Education ranking? THE, Times Higher Education ranking. Or somebody may be asking about the World University rankings. Where are you on World University rankings? Or among Asia, if not in the world, among Asia, I think this QA is also going to give a subject-wise. If not entire institution, how many of your departments are going to be part of this QS, the best departments, best disciplines? So that is how I think people are trying to look at you, especially when they wanted to go for some international collaboration. Or maybe if you would like to go for some industry collaborations, then also you need to go and tell them that, there are 10 institutions. For example, take our own University of Hyderabad. In Hyderabad city, at least we have 10 universities. In Hyderabad city itself, around 10 universities we have. It's a public, private, deemed to be, whatever you call, central, state. I think, at least, 10 universities we have. So there is an industry which would like to collaborate with one of us. Then assuming that, they have called all of 10 of us for the presentation. Then obviously our University of Hyderabad, I think, stands in a better position because of our rankings, because of our NIRF ranking, because of our ranking, because of our NAC accreditation. So these are all kinds of, the benefits. And especially, today, if you look at most of the international rankings and NIRF and other kind of ranking institutions, they are asking for internationalization of your education. International faculty, international students. So how international faculty will come to know there is a university where I can go and work, or where an international student, how they can go and work. So they look at these kind of rankings. I think most of us also aware when we wanted to send our children for master's education at US or UK, since we do not know anything about it, and we go by the ranking. So the ranking is good because, there is no way you would like to, in the absence of ranking, what is happening is a lot of social media kind of, communication. The communication in a lot of blogs, communication in a lot of groups, whatever now we are going to get the information. So that information may not be authentic, and sometimes, you may end up in choosing a wrong institution. That is where we need to have some kind of a authentication. For example, you wanted to buy a product from the market. What is that you are going to look at? When you wanted to buy a product from a market, what do we look at? We look at ISI brand, or you look at AG mark, AG mark. The reason is, if something is, I think, accredited or approved by some agency, then, you gain confidence to buy that product. The reason is, if you really look at such kind of certification, then that improves your confidence. So now I think all of us are convinced, whether personally we may have our own reservations about ranking system. People who are sitting in the high ranked institutions, they promote rankings, and who are not working in high ranked institutions, working in the institutions where there is no proper ranking mechanism, no ranking system at all, no ranking at all for them. They always say that, why ranking should be there. This is the kind of a discussion and debate is been happening. And now, whether we like it or not, rankings are part of our system. And also, if you look at our National Education Policy 2020 also, For better performing institutions, there are a lot of incentives. Now we are speaking about multidisciplinary, cross-functional kind of research and collaborations and so on and so forth. So in this context, so rankings are important. Rankings are important. Rankings will help us to proceed. Okay. So now this QS World University rankings. If you look at the QS World University rankings, so here they look at 6 parameters, the six parameters, and here number one, academic reputation. Number two, employer reputation. Number three, ratio. Number four, papers for faculty. Number five, international faculty ratio. Number six, international student ratio. So each one of you can start introspecting and discussing and thinking of your own institution from where you have come. So what is the academic reputation? What is the employer reputation? And how this academic reputation can be enhanced? How this employer reputation can be enhanced? How this faculty student ratio can be decreased, not increased. I think we need to decrease the faculty student ratio. And the papers for faculty can be more and more. International faculty ratio, I think, what is the ratio between domestic faculty and international faculty? So the international faculty is 0. Domestic faculty, whatever you have, that ratio is 0. International student also, denominator, whatever numbers you have. So most of our Indian universities are not figuring in international rankings just because of this fifth and sixth parameter. Of course, other factors are also equally important, but international faculty ratio and international student ratio, I think these two are highly discouraging for most of the Indian universities and Indian higher education institutions. But the next important thing is papers for faculty. When we have these papers for faculty, so according to most of us, any paper, whatever we publish is a paper. But it is not so. It is not so, because the paper is not just paper published. Paper should have various kinds of credentials. So now I would like to have a kind of an academic discussion with the participants. I would like to know how do we determine the quality of a research paper? How do we determine the quality of a research paper? Any one of you can speak. What is a good research paper? Especially when we are speaking about this ranking issues. What is a good research paper? How do we determine it is a research paper? Or which research papers are useful for ranking? Yes, please. Yes, please. Peer reviewed. Yeah, peer reviewed, but unfortunately, every journal says, our journal. That is then based on citations. Okay, number one, based on citations. Number two, indexed in Web of Science, Scopus, Science Citation Index, and Science Citation Index extended list. A good research paper is basically a sustained inquiry about a particular subject. Okay. So here we are not going by the qualitative judgment of a paper, because the way now you are saying that the academic institutional ranking to be certified by some agency like NIRF, like QS, like NAC, or like Times Higher Education, whatever. In the similar way, your paper also to be certified by somebody that it is a good paper. So this we will come to know when it is indexed in Web of Science, Scopus, Science Citation Index, and Science Citation Index the extended list. So these are the kind of things. So now every paper, whatever we publish, is not a paper. Very simple. So there are papers, even among this Web of Science, Scopus, Science Citation Index, and CI indexing process and everything. So here we are now they are trying to look at, there is something called Clarivate. There is a company called Clarivate Analytics. This Clarivate Analytics is the company which is a kind of a consultant to most of these ranking organizations. And given the institution name, they try to give the profile, research profile, publication profile of that particular institution faculty, total citations, citations during last 1 year, citations during last 2 years, citations during last 3 years. Among the papers also, they have based on their impact factor, based on their citations, based on the quality, categorized these journals into quarters. Q1, Q2, of course, uh, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. So how many of these papers published by this institution are falling in quartile one and second quartile, then third quartile, fourth quartile. So the quartile one is top 25%. Quartile two is top 50%, if you say. Quartile three means, I think, first 75. Quartile four is last 25%. So now how many of our papers are published in quartile 1 and 2? And also they are trying to give some kind of analytics. Last year, how many papers were in quartile 2, quartile 3, and now how many papers have moved, percentage, how they have moved. That also they are trying to look at the consistency, the progression of the each institution, And important thing is faculty-student ratio. And this is always a challenging task in Indian context because no recruitment at most of the places, and we are increasing the students, we are increasing the sections, and no full-time faculty. And most of the time we have contractual faculty, part-time faculty, ad hoc faculty, visiting faculty. So then there are some kind of issues that, when you look at the faculty-student ratio, you are increasing the students and decreasing the faculty. Then obviously your faculty-student ratio is increasing rather than decreasing. So ideally, it should be 1:10, 1:12, 1:15. But unfortunately, in our system, it is 1:40, 1:50, 1:30, whatever. So this is other kind of a problem. The next important thing is, the academic reputation of your institution and the employer reputation. The employer reputation also, that is something to do with, how these employers are perceiving your institution. These employers are global employers all over the world. They are not going to look at, for example, your students are joining a particular company, a local company. This local company fellow even may not be contacted by this PS fellow. That they will approach across the globe, and they try to look at what is their kind of reputation. Okay. So they try to look at the reputation for which, they have a huge number of 1 lakh academics they are trying to look at, and they are trying to know from them that, how they are perceiving this particular institution. And also they try to ask the employers how they are perceiving this institution and what is their perception about it. That is how they are going to do. But these two, academic reputation, employer reputation, is always a kind of a little complicated issue. So we don't know how they are going to know about us. This is the biggest challenge. We don't say that randomly they choose some 1 lakh people, 50,000 people, and they are sending the mails and they are trying to get the information, but there is not much clarity about how they are going to assess this academic reputation and employer reputation, because they may be having a scientific process, but it is not properly explained anywhere. So what we can think of is maybe the academic peers and employers. I think, they should have a great opinion about our institution. So it can happen when your students are placed across the globe, or at least, in major companies, major industries. And if they are doing better, obviously, most of the companies are visiting your campus for recruitment, and recruitment also happening for the higher level positions. And academic reputation also, this is an academic collaboration with the international universities, and who comes and visit your place, once they go back, they should be able to say very high about your institution. They should be able to rank and rate your institution in a different manner. It's a higher manner, a kind of higher score. Then this is the World University Rankings. The World University Rankings, here the kind of, the teaching part. Teaching part is, 30%. 30% weightage for teaching. But there, they are going to look at the reputation survey, the 15%. So they are going to conduct the reputation survey to know the reputation of your institution. That weightage is for 15%. Staff to student ratio. Staff to student ratio, the faculty to student ratio, it is 4.5%. And doctorate to bachelor's ratio. doctorate to bachelor's ratio. I think, how many of the PhD you have, how many of the bachelors you have. So that ratio. Doctorates awarded to academic staff ratio. So how many faculty members are there and how many PhDs are awarded. So there are in thousands and hundreds or few hundreds, but the number of scholars, if you look at who are graduating from that institution, they are not even 1:1. So this is also a kind of issue. They try to look at the productivity of the teacher in terms of publication, in terms of research guidance. Then institutional income. So how you are going to generate revenue, how you are going to generate the revenue, that is going to 0.25%. Then research, that is 30% weightage. If you look at the teaching, that is 30%. Research is 30%. They are equally given weightages. A reputation survey, that is 18% of your research. Research income, that could be research grants and a kind of a patents and whatever money you are going to generate out of that. Research productivity, that is the number of publications. First faculty publication, per faculty publication, per student publication, the institution publications. So this is about 30%. Another 30% is citations. So this is very, very important component. So teaching, research, citations. Teaching 30%, research 30%, citations 30%. So how this research is influencing. Then 7% is international outlook. Proportion of international students, proportion of international staff, international collaborations. So, international collaborations. And the proportion of international staff, proportion of international students. Then the industry income, this is the knowledge transfer. I think by transferring the knowledge, that is actually patents are coming here, they are the research grants. So here it is 2.5%. So look at again these parameters and where do we stand? So reputation survey, it is across the globe, is a question mark, because you may be aware, a small university somewhere, so it is not known to most of the people, then they say we are not even heard this institution name. Or sometimes they try to go to our website and try to capture the information, but most of our Indian university websites and Indian institute websites, they are not updated. And it is very extremely difficult for them to know the relevant information. I think, because I'm in the process of searching for some information, you randomly choose some university websites. I think, they are not updated. They don't remove the retired faculty names. They don't add the newly recruited faculty names. They will not update the curriculum. They will not mention about the placement data. They will not update about the rules and regulations of the university. They will not have even a post for admissions. And during admissions time, they have a notification and they try to complete. But during the academic year, somebody wanted to get into your institution. Your admission portals are not open throughout the year. So that means at least there should be proper information. And what are the outreach activities you are doing? So that is also not clearly mentioned. And your syllabus, your courses, your syllabus and your courses, whatever. So it is not mentioned. That is also another kind of a problem. So it is a kind of how the website is designed, how the information is being presented. And I wanted to know what is the kind of, the faculty student ratio. This information is not available unless you know that, your institution, since you are working with NIRF, and when you go for this kind of a NIRF page, there, you may have some statistics, but there only you find the numbers. So I think first of all, what we need to do is we need to redesign most of our university websites. But in contrary to public university websites, the private university websites are more user friendly, and they keep on updating the information from time to time, and all the relevant information with this kind of headings. I think, ideally when somebody wanted to go for this kind of websites, they try to keep, there can be one with the teaching, one with research, one with citations. Also, if I wanted to know the citations of the entire university faculty, for example. So how do I search? Where do I get? Or how many Scopus publications published by the faculty members of the university? This information, is extremely difficult for us to capture unless I have to go to Scopus and I have to type and I have to get it. But if you give the proper links, then obviously it becomes very easy for anybody to access the information, anybody to get into that. And especially when we look at the research scholars, so the research scholars also, when they wanted to join us, these research scholars are going to choose the research supervisor based on the research profile of the professor. And also, you should also advertise or publicize the reputation of your professors. That somebody sitting from other countries also should be able to collaborate with your research supervisor, with your professor. That is how I think. How many of our faculty members are having home pages? This is the other kind of a problem. Or how many of the departments are going to mention about the whole department output? I think, this is the high time for all of us. I think, once even you go back, whether it is you participate in the ranking, non-participation in the ranking, one should be able to get all the information. For example, NAC, all the information, whatever is NAC asking criteria-wise, information should be available in the website. When I wanted to go for even ranking also, I did not ask anybody to get the information, but unfortunately in our system, if you wanted to participate in the NAC, wanted to participate in the ranking system, you may have to spend 6 to 7 months, sometimes 1 year time to capture the data. And at the end of the capturing the data, there are a lot of inconsistencies, lot of mistakes, lot of errors. And also there is no way that, we can validate, you can cross-check the data. This is the kind of a challenge we face. So I think, this is very important, and especially the citations, how citations, I think, can influence. This is another kind of a question. So how citations can influence? Because citations also, they also enhances the reputation. Citations enhances the reputation because there is also a kind of a connectivity between these citations and academic reputation. Citations and academic reputation. Then citations and international collaborations, because tomorrow you wanted to collaborate with an international professor. So that professor will look at your research publications and your citations and your research profile and so on. And that's where I think, we need to see that, these are all interlinked. That's what I'm trying to say. And most of our Indian universities, barring IITs, the industry income is almost zero. International collaborations also, we may have several MOUs, but active MOUs are, very, very minimum. And somebody may ask you, you have been having MOU with so-and-so institution for the last 5 years, but what is the outcome? Hardly there is anything. This is another kind of a problem. And international students, international faculty. Now, if you look at this, this 10% is gone. 7.5% and 2.5%, 10% is gone. Citations also, I think, the citations of the institution, if you look at that, this is also a question mark. And the research and citations, these two are connected. Reputation survey and projects. Research income is here. Now we are looking at the projects and research productivity outcome. Okay, fine. Then the World University rankings, also not everybody can participate. There is a kind of exclusion. Universities can be excluded from the World University rankings if they do not teach undergraduates. This is the major limitation of most of the PG universities which are having only PG programs. Or if the research output amounted to fewer than 1,000 relevant publications between 2014 and 18, with a minimum of 150 a year. So minimum 150, and between 2014 to 2018, maybe for this year it is 2015 to 2019, 5 years. So we should have 1,000 relevant publications with a minimum 150 per year. So that means 150 into 5, 750. The other 250 you can have in some distributed across 5 years. And universities can also be excluded if 80% of or more of their research output is exclusively in one of our 11 subject areas. I think that they have 11 subject areas where I think there are some kind of universities, one department is doing exceedingly well. So 80% or more of their research output is only from one school or one department. So they don't want to include such kind of institutions. The 11 subject areas are arts and humanities, clinical, pre-clinical and health, engineering and technology, life sciences, physical sciences, social sciences, law, psychology, education, computer science, business and economics. Computer science, business and economics. Okay. So these are the kind of disciplines we have, and with these disciplines, only one department is contributing about 80% of the output, research output, that they are excluded from participating. So having seen the two world ranking systems, QS and the World University rankings, NIRF ranking, I think, I think I have made some analysis of NIRF this thing, and this NIRF ranking parameters for universities, management and engineering. I think these are the common parameters. So here, teaching and learning, it is 30%. Teaching, learning and resources. Teaching resources, 30%. Research and professional practice, 30%. Graduation outcomes, 20%. Outreach and inclusivity, 10%. Perception, 10%. So this perception is the way we are now speaking about reputation. The way we are speaking about the reputation, this is 10%. There, you are speaking about academic reputation, industry reputation, employer reputation, whatever you are speaking, it is 10%. Outreach and inclusivity, 10%. Graduation outcomes, 20%. Research and professional practice, 30%. Teaching, learning and resources, 30%. So if you look at colleges, because always there is a criticism that, how you can expect colleges to do research, because you cannot club colleges and universities together. So by keeping that in mind, so colleges are more for teaching. That's where 30% to 40%. Research and professional practice, it is 30%, now it is 15%. Graduation outcomes, 20%, it is 25%. Outreach and inclusivity, 10%, perception, 10%. So both are same. This 20 has become 25, 30 has become 15, that 30 has become 40. So this 30 is become 40, 30 has become 15, 20 has become 25. That is how this percentage is adjusted. So research and professional practice, not that colleges need not do research. They also should do research because it carries 15% weightage. And teaching, learning, resources, 40%. Graduation outcomes, 25%. Whereas in universities, management and engineering, 20%. Okay. So what I have done for the benefit of all of you, I think, I have personally made some analysis. Top university rankings in NIRF 2020. So look at this data. IISc topping, JNU number 2, BHU number 3, Amrita is a private university figuring at 4th place, Jadavpur University 5, University of Hyderabad 6, Calcutta University 7, Manipal is another private university 8, Pune 9, Jamia Millia 10. So quickly, by looking at this information, what are the findings you can make? I have taken only top 10, though they have given 100 institutions data, 100 universities data, but I have the data for 10. So what is that? Just come to the score later. But if you look at the institutions, so what's coming to your mind is the top 10 university rankings. What is that? Is a straight observation you can make out of it. Any quick observation? What is that? Yeah.
Yeah, research one probably a little bit more challenging one, I think, a research area.
Yeah, we'll go to the research area, but look at the institutions and make some comment about it. The 10 institutions, what kind of comment you can make out of it?
You can also probably the downwards probably we can see the like a private institution coming up and like JNU and BHUs being in a central university. Not all the central university are there ranked, and there is a mix of central and the private university coming together actually somewhere in the quality education.
Fine. Now, if you look at centrally funded institution, JNU, BHU, University of Hyderabad. Jamia Millia. So these are all centrally funded institutions. That means out of 10, 5 institutions are centrally funded. This is one observation I would like to make. 5 institutions: IISc, JNU, BHU, University of Hyderabad, Jamia, and 2 state universities, Jadavpur, Calcutta, and Pune. 3 universities: Jadavpur, Calcutta, and Pune. These 3 universities are state universities. Pune, Maharashtra; Calcutta, West Bengal; Jadavpur, also West Bengal. So 2 West Bengal universities, Jadavpur and Calcutta, they are also figuring there. And 1 Pune University from Maharashtra. Then, if you look at private universities, 1 Amrita University and 1 Manipal University. These 2 universities are from South. Manipal is from Karnataka and Amrita from Kerala. Okay. These are the kind of, or Coimbatore, we can say. So if you, so one thing glaringly what it can appear is the centrally funded institutions have some advantage. The private universities also have some advantage. And public universities, that Calcutta University is one of the oldest universities of the country. They have a legacy. Pune University also known for its quality. Jadavpur, of course, it is there. And interestingly, out of these universities, IISc is IOE, Institute of Eminence. Very recently, the government of India has conferred that status. 1,000 crores are given to make that is a world-class institution. BHU is another IOE institution. And University of Hyderabad is another IOE institution. Jadavpur is also given IOE status, but because of this 50% to be borne by the state government, that was actually it is pending. And Anna University also coming under that category, 50%. If Anna University, Jadavpur, somebody is going to drop, Pune is in the wait list. Pune will make into that. So what I mean to say, most of the top institutions, the top performing institutions, they are also figuring in IOE. Even these private universities like Amrita University and Manipal University, these 2 are also figuring in IOE list. That is the 10 private universities list. This is number 1. Number 2, second observation is the overall score is 84% here. The 10th institution's position is 61. 84 to 61. You can see the difference of 23%. 23% is the difference. 84, JNU 70. There is almost 14% gap between IISc and JNU. 7% JNU to BHU. BHU, Amrita, Jadavpur, University of Hyderabad, Calcutta, Manipal, Pune, Jamia. 61, 61, 61, 61, 61, 61. And this is just 62 and 63. So that means this IISc and JNU are almost, they are far away from this rest of the institutions. This is another kind of an observation. And the bottom 7 institutions, I can say, or even if you want to count 63.15, bottom 8 institutions are there within this range of some 2%, 61 to 63. So this is an indication that these positions are not going to be permanent. So this can jumble. Once you get 2021 NIRF ranking, there will not be any surprise. Amrita will go up and to the 3rd position. Or University of Hyderabad may come down. Manipal may go up. Jamia will go up or whatever. So this is what I think, one thing I would like to show is 84 to 61. Looking at the teaching, the variation is not that much, 82, 74, 70, 69, 53, 71, 59, 75, 67, 71. And this is also one kind of issue. 82 is the maximum. 53 is minimum. So though Jadavpur is almost 30% less in teaching, but still it is figuring in the 5th place. This is what one should. And also look at the research also. IISc is at 92% and JNU is at 44%. It's almost less than half. BHU less than half. Amrita is better than JNU and BHU. Jadavpur is better than even all the top 3. And University of Hyderabad, you can see we are now falling before, I think, Amrita and Jadavpur and BHU and JNU. Calcutta is doing better than University of Hyderabad, better than BHU, better than JNU. Manipal is 42%, Pune is 45%, Jamia is 38%. But with 38% research score also, they were able to make it. So now you can see IISc 92.16. If you look at the graduation outcomes, graduation, is 100%. JNU has 100%, 82%, but all of them are doing well. 88, 82, 71, 75. Then outreach, if you look at, Amrita is 65%, that is highest, or Manipal is 66. So two private universities are doing better, or Jamia is doing for that matter better. JNU is 75, Jamia and JNU 73, 75, and 65, 61. And IISc is, I think this is one area is doing very least. Outreach is very low for IISc. Then perception score, you can see it is 100%. IISc Bangalore is almost becoming like a synonym for the quality. So 100%. The second highest, if you look at, is Jadavpur, 71%. Third highest is JNU, 67%. And if you look at, University of Hyderabad, 58%, JNU 67, and 43, 44, 47. Interestingly, Jamia has 31% perception score, 38% research score, but still they were able to manage in the top 10. Just this information would, when you are going to make analysis for your own institution on which areas we are supposed to compete, and among these institutions, you try to compare. I'm only giving you an example of 10, but you can make this kind of a sheet for all 100. And look at your own institution scores, and you can find out, go to their website and look at their and compare your NIRF data. And for that NIRF data, if they're able to get such kind of a score, then what I'm going to get for my own institution. I think, this is one exercise. If you are from university, you do this kind of exercise. Then if you are from engineering college, I think, this also I have made a slide for engineering colleges. So top 10, and look at, except NIT Trichy, all are IITs. All are IITs. This is one interesting thing. So NIT Trichy is even better than IIT Indore. Otherwise, all 8 are only IITs. And IIT Madras, IIT Delhi, Bombay, Kanpur, Kharagpur, Roorkee. And IIT Hyderabad is a kind of a relatively younger IIT, but it is figuring in top. Indore is also relatively new. But, this old IITs like Madras, Delhi, Bombay, Kanpur, Kharagpur, I think, all of them are figuring here. Then look at the total score, 89, 88, 85, 82, 80. So the way the universities, you could see a lot of gap, but whereas here, the gap is not so great. 89 to 88 to 85 to 82 to 80, 76, 74. IIT Hyderabad 64, Indore 62. And teaching, if you look at here, perception, IIT is having 100 perception. Delhi is having 94. Madras 100, Delhi 94, Bombay 92. Look at these three institutions, 89, 88, 85, 95, 90, 91, 94, 96, 93, 83, 80, 77, 61, 64, 49. IIT Bombay is having outreach less. Otherwise, they would have gone to second position or first position. So this is one area which they are lagging behind. So IIT Bombay here, IIT Kanpur, if you look at here, outreach 60, 64, 49, 54, 61, 57. Graduation outcomes, if you look at 83, 80, 77, 88, 83, 89, I think all of them are doing good. Research also 94, 96, 93, 82, 88, 76, 70. IIT Hyderabad is less, research 52, Trichy 50, Indore 53. So now you can look at the same kind of exercise for another 100 institutions, 100 engineering colleges, and look at their NIRF data and look at your NIRF data, and you try to see how they are doing and what are the strategies. If possible, even you make a visit to these institutions. This is what is very, very important. The opportunity, just go and visit them and spend some time with those institutions and try to see what are their best practices and come back and try to implement some of them so that, we can also be in the race. Otherwise, what happens, the toppers are always being toppers, and even the backbenchers are going to be backbenchers always. I think, we need to also move a little further, for which we need to learn lessons from the successful institutions. And I have made the same analysis for management schools. So, IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore, IIM Kolkata, IIM Lucknow, IIT Kharagpur. This is Vinod Gupta School of Business. IIM Kozhikode, IIM Indore, and IIT Delhi. Their management school, and XLRI Jamshedpur, MDI Gurgaon. So these are the kind of institutions we have. Look at the score, it is 82, 81, 80, 73, 70, 69, 69, 65. And look at the research, 63, 57, 56, 48, 72, and 31, 46. Because usually, the management institutions, the research component is not really great. But still, they were able to IIT Kharagpur 72. Teaching, I think 92, 91, 90, 86, everything is fine. Except IIT Delhi 58 and IIT Kharagpur 63. The graduation outcomes 98, 97, 90, everything is fine. Outreach also, if you look at 60, everything around 60. Perception is 6%. IIM Ahmedabad. Calcutta 95. IIM Bangalore 100. IIM Lucknow 73, 48. This IIT Kharagpur perception is less. Then 71, 55, 52. And MDI Gurgaon, their perception score is 24.5. So what I'm trying to say, even if you are not doing very great in one particular section, still you are doing better in other areas, you can manage the rank. That is what I wanted to cover. That's where you could see some 24% here, but 31% here, 31% and 43% here, but still they are able to manage to get into the top 10. Then I also made some kind of analysis for college rankings. College rankings. So I have taken the top 10. I have taken the top 10 kind of college rankings. So here, if you look at top 10. So here, interestingly, out of 10, 5 colleges are from Delhi. Miranda House, Lady Sri Ram, Hindu College, St. Stephen's, Hansraj College. Whereas Tamil Nadu, I think in the Presidency College, Loyola College, and Ishtamal College of Women, that is Coimbatore. Presidency, Loyola, and Coimbatore. So this is 5 plus 3, 8. Then 2 are from West Bengal. So Xavier College, Ramakrishna Mission, Vivekananda, Xavier College 1, and Ramakrishna Centenary College. So now if you look at the scores, here it is 77, it is 66, 72, 70, 69, 68. So 77, 72, 70, 68, 68, 68, 67, 67, 66. These are the scores. The teaching learning resources 79, 74, 72, 77, 73. Research kind of 58, 10%. You can see here it is 10%. But something is 95, 91 here. Graduate outcomes are reasonably good. Outreach and inclusivity fine. Perception is also. Loyola College has 100%. St. Stephen's College is having 97%. So Hansraj College 70%. So from this, what is the kind of an observation you can make from colleges? From colleges, what kind of conclusion we can draw? Yes? What kind of conclusion you can draw from here?
There are very less differences in terms of the total score is to 66. They are highly competitive actually, and they are gaining up. They are, it's like university kind of, the scores they have.
Okay, so that means, the colleges are more competitive. Can I say that?
Not more than university competitive, but yes, they are catching up, I think, in terms of all parameters.
Okay.
Because university setup is totally different from the college, so I don't think we can compare with the university.
Okay.
But
what we can compare is the variability in the scores. Whether variability is more, variability is less.
Variability is relatively, I think, is less. If I'm not wrong.
In colleges. In universities and this thing, the colleges, I think if you look at this IITs, if you look at the IITs here, because all IITs, they are all uniform institutions. I think there is homogeneity, a lot of homogeneity. That's where the structures are same, the delivery content is same, their pedagogy, their methodology, everything is same. That's where you could see a lot of scores are matching. The same is the case with IIMs. IIMs also, they are more or less matching. The scores are matching. But universities are highly heterogeneous. Say, for example, take IISc. IISc is a science institution. JNU is more of a science and social sciences. BHU is everything. You have everything. Whatever you name, BHU has it. Amruta is also, I think, it's a multidisciplinary university. Jadavpur is also equally good for science and social sciences. University of Hyderabad is also basically a science university, but we have reasonably good social science and humanities disciplines. Calcutta, of course, has everything. Manipal, of course, is also multidisciplinary. Pune is multidisciplinary. Jamia also multidisciplinary. So one university, IISc, is only one university. It is homogeneous. So IISc can be competed with IITs, technically speaking, because they also have programs. They also have this engineering research and something. But this IISc is in not in engineering colleges, in the university. But if you look at the overall rankings also, again, you can find some trend, and that I have not made any analysis here. I have not put that slide here, but I also made some analysis about top 10 institutions. And another important thing I have done is I have taken the overall score. I have taken this overall score, and I have taken this is a dependent variable. These 5 are independent variables. And I found some correlations and some regressions, and I was trying to see the weightages, whatever they have given, versus the kind of scores, whatever they have got. So I could find some kind of a correlation, but still, I was trying to look at, once looking at such kind of a regression equation, by substituting different scores for teaching, research, graduation, outreach, perception. So I'm able to predict the score. So given these kinds of scores, how the overall score I'm going to do that. So here now, before we move to the next section, next topic. So as far as this NIRF is concerned, if you are given the responsibility to improve your NIRF ranking of your institution, tell me what are the 3-4 steps you are going to do. If your institution has given you the responsibility to improve NIRF score of your institution, then how do you go about it? Where do you start and how do you go about it?
I think because we are also process for NIRF, and so I think the research area which is differentiating us, and also internationalization, which is parameter we have not done, but I think one area is going to be there. That one aspect, and the perception. So these are the graduation. I think we are getting it good enough about the, but research and even outreach we are doing well. But research, perception, and internationalization, 3 parameters which I think is challenging us.
Yeah. Now you are from which institution?
From KJ Somaiya Institute of Management, we have 54 NIRF in management.
I know. Yeah. So KJ Somaiya is a well-known management institution. Yes. So now, for example, I will ask a question that, how do you improve your research score? Given the opportunity, how do you improve your research score? Any one of you can respond. How do we improve our research score?
Yes, if I'm allowed, if I can speak.
Please.
Research, yes, one kind of, we are working on the faculty development program with the international quality research kind of, and we are trying to set the, not maybe just only sake of the publication, more like impactful research, which is like ABDC, and that's one side, but impactful research we are looking into in terms of the collaborative research. For example, tapping to the Spark and tapping to UKRI and the international funding, and through our partner, so this is something what we are trying to work on.
Okay, fine. But the problem is, most of the faculty whom already we have recruited, they are not capable of doing good research. Then what do we do with them? This is one problem, most of the times when I'm interacting with the institutions, they say that even institution is willing to support them, but they are not capable of doing research. What do we do with them?
what we discuss at our end sometimes, like we can't expect everybody to do research about
Okay.
it. We should not force them. And those who are really capable and willing to, they feel passion into that, then we should try to groom them. That's what we are trying to identify, because teaching is equally also important, and one person may not be good at all skill.
Fine. So now, do you suggest? I think we should have research professors and teaching professors separately. But the people who can improve the research score, people who can do the teaching. So, do you think it is going to solve the problem?
Not exactly, actually.
Because if you look at most of these private universities, they are now hiring a lot of people who are good at research, and they are not giving them any teaching job. Their job is only to publish the papers. Teaching is optional for them. That is also, I think, think that is improving their research profile by doing so.
Maybe in some aspect, but not the holistic.
Yeah. Okay. Then how about incentivizing the research publications? Is it a good idea or bad idea? Incentivizing the research publications. If you publish
I
a
think
research paper, yeah.
I think it is highly debatable about that.
Okay. Okay.
Initially, yes, if the system is matured and standardized, I think it is maybe a good idea, provided the whole system is getting benefited. When I say whole system getting benefited, means it should inspire to other team members or the faculty group. So then it makes little sense. But if there is just only sake of the incentive, then I think maybe setting the wrong standard probably.
Okay. The next one is, yeah, so what that is one part. And how do we improve the quality of research? I think, the people have been publishing, but they are not really counted for a IRF ranking because, of our whatever analysis, the Clarivate analysis, whatever they are doing, they are not counted, but people are publishing. How do we push them to publish to a better journal? This is another kind of a challenge. Right now they are publishing, but now we need to push them to move to the next level. How do we handle that problem? This is the next question.
I think this is the place where the incentive works. When we say ABDC publishing in ABDC journals, and if they are publishing in maybe the below the C category or maybe any local journals, I think the probably incentive things can work. Maybe for some institution, I'm not sure for all.
Okay. So do you think, I think these are everybody to respond. Do you think, if somebody is not publishing in top-notch journals, we are not going to give them the promotion? If the institution makes such kind of a policy, do you see research will improve?
No, sir.
No. Then what will happen? What would be the consequence of that? Because today what is happening is we are giving promotions for any kind of a publication. But that is not counted for your NIRF, QS ranking and so on. So now people are happy with their promotions and whatever publications they made. But now we are insisting that, when it comes to the ranking, no, we need to have quality publications. So unless we link the quality of publication with the promotion, how do we ensure that, research profile of the institution will improve?
Sir, I have also one suggestion regarding the
Please.
research publication.
Please.
All the research publications, if we can put a rider saying that your research should be useful to someone. I'm not saying it is only for industry. If you are doing any research, it should be useful to society in terms of somebody should adopt whatever the concepts or suggestions you are giving, and some output should be seen. And the same person, take an example that few of the people are doing research for NGO, that how they can market and generate funds. So that kind of research, maybe it is a small research, but some output should be, because I have seen it that many people who are doing publications and research, it does not have any outcome. It does not have any output which you can see and quantify.
Okay.
So it is limiting somewhere their creativity also. It is limiting only कि मुझे promotion मिलना है, so I have to publish it in ABC, ADBC journals or Scopus. So I am done with that. That's all. So where the utilization of research is happening, that is why what is my concern is that is the reason why in India we are not able to get that boost for the research. If you see the NRIF ranking, even the research column for such a big institution, they are falling short of that. Nobody is going above 80.
And that is the problem. But if you say we are planning to do the socially relevant research, there's a complaint that journals are not publishing such kind of papers. The journals also manage.
No, social in terms of what I say, outcome based. Means suppose if I am doing anything, if it should be industry based, then also it is fine. Your research has been adopted by some industry to utilize that concept.
I agree with you, but the biggest challenge here is we are going for NIRF or QS ranking is one mode of research is required. Promotions, one mode of research is required. And also we are seeing that, our broader understanding of the research is, research of the societal problems. There should be some benefit to the society. Research is not for the sake of research. Publication is not for the sake of publication. We have different kinds of thoughts. But how do we, I think, club all these things and come out with a strategy for the institution? This is what is the challenge.
Yes,
because
yes,
I have been also closely working with all these rankings for the past 5-6 years, and I was director IQAC in my university for the last 5 years, and we have all these kind of debates. Not that we are away from this. We are also facing the same kind of a problem. Yes,
until
please.
and unless we will not have that research result oriented, this problem is going to persist for a longer period because we are not giving a practical importance to research. It will be only on paper. Somebody is doing it and it is remaining on paper, and the output is only in terms of ranking and the promotion. That's all. And only few will be converted.
No, I am saying even in ranking also it is not converted. That is also a problem. Even for ranking, at least it converts, there would be a kind of a thing, but it is only ended with individual promotion. So then how do we address this? For example, I can tell you one kind of a practice what at our university we have done. When I was the dean of school, so I convinced all my research scholars and all my colleagues and said to publish 2 research papers before submitting their thesis. 2 papers should be from Scopus or SCI or SSCI or even our ABDC. Unless you publish in these journals, your thesis cannot be submitted. So such decision we have taken at the school board and we have approved it our academic council. Then as a consequence, what is happening? Last 2-3 years, our students are publishing in Scopus and ABDC-C and ABDC-B. So that is how, I could improve the research profile of my school. But when I am trying to do for entire university, there's a lot of resistance from my other schools. Not science schools are anyway, they are doing with all these kind of things, like, Scopus and SCI, Web of Science and other things. But when it comes to the social science and humanities, I think, the kind of a challenge is we do not have so many Scopus journals. This is one kind of a complaint they have. And also the problem is, publishing in a Scopus journal from these disciplines would be not that easy when compared to science. This is the another kind of a argument we hear from them. So now how do we balance? This is what is the biggest challenge. That's where what we have done for promotions, when they come for the promotion, whether it is career advancement or direct recruitment, the first slide we are going to ask very simple questions. How many papers you have published? Out of them, how many are into Scopus? How many of them into Web of Science? How many of them into SCI? What are your citations? Total citations. What are your citations for the last 5 years? What is your H index? What is your I10 index? I think this is the first slide somebody has to do before they face the interview. So that last 2 years we have been doing at our university, that is changing the mindset of our colleagues now. They are also, everybody started creating their Google profile, Google Scholar profile. Now they are also monitoring their citations. They are also trying to improve their citation. They are also trying to improve their Scopus publications. I think, we need to bring such kind of a change that cannot come overnight. That may not come overnight, but it will take its own time. So what I personally feel, we need to change the mindset of the institution. I think I'm now using the word institution, including students, faculty, and everybody. So that's where we are discussing mostly about research, and also the outreach and inclusion, inclusivity and outreach also. There we are trying to speak something about the diversity factor. The diversity factor also, I think we are going to speak there. So there, when we look at the diversity factor, most of the institutions, we have students from our own region, our own city, our own town, our own state. But how do we attract? You forget about international students getting into our institution. At least, students from other states. How do we attract students from other states to our institution? Like when we say diversity, how do we address that issue? How do we attract the students from other states to our institution? Yes, please. Any ideas?
Hello, sir.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Sir, I am working at state government
Okay.
College of Engineering, Chemistry, that is Odisha. So, let's
Okay.
not be, sir, let's be rhetoric. Actually, we are deviating from the issue. Thing is not like getting a promotion, whether our research that written manuscript or intellectual property will give before that development we cannot say whether that will going to suitable for the industry as far as our engineering is concerned, or social science, whether it will be effective or not.
Yeah.
The main the state government or state government colleges or private institutions NIRF rank, they are out of NIRF rank. The thing is that most faculties are pursuing their PhD research degree in higher institutions. Faculty, the faculty is with these faculties. So when we are pursuing our PhD degree research work, we are having the affiliation with those IIT or NIT. So in every case, IIT is getting the publications. And after coming back to our institution, our degree, we do not have the labs, we do not have those infrastructure to do the research, to publish in Scopus or in SCI or SCIE or Web of Science journals or Nature, whatever it may be. We are lacking. So whatever benefit, those are directly papers I am publishing SCI, but most of the affiliations are with the IIT.
Okay. But also
IIT, not with.
But but you are also giving affiliation. Your name also will carry your affiliation, no? Your name also will carry your affiliation, your institute affiliation. Yeah.
Mostly is with the affiliations only.
Fine. Not saying anything wrong in it. Yeah. Fine. Carry on. No. What we are discussing here is, please carry on.
Yes, sir. So that is why without developing infrastructure, I am completely focusing on research, not graduation, not outreach, not. Is concerned, as far as outreach is concerned, as far as perception is concerned, we can manage. Teaching is not in our hand because recruitment policies are there, and that has to be done by the government as well as university. But as far as graduation, outreach, and perception are concerned, we can work on that. But as far as research is concerned, without a very good infrastructure, a good researcher who has done a very good thesis, outstanding thesis, he cannot carry out his research, produce good journal papers, and cannot enhance the score.
Fine. I'll get back. Yeah, I understand that. But I also, in my analysis, what I found is there is a strong correlation between perception and research. Research score is directly influencing perception. So this is what also I found from my analysis. So that means, if you are research,
Sir,
it is, yeah, please. Yes, please.
as far as obviously, sir, if something is good, the perception will be good. But as far as undergraduate courses are concerned, mostly undergraduate courses has hardly any link with the research perception. We cannot build perception with research as far as undergraduate courses are concerned, BTech degrees are concerned. So we can earn that perception by building a very good relationship with industry, by sending our students and putting them as interns, giving them placements like that. That has hardly do anything with research. Only we can send our students.
Then the correlation graduation outcomes, GO.
Yes,
the
yes,
graduation outcome and the perception also going to be better. Another important thing, graduation outcome and perception, research and perception, teaching and perception, outreach and perception. This perception is function of other four. You can get perception. The perception is not in isolation. Perception comes from all the four. This is what I am trying to say. And research also connected with the teaching. Yeah, please.
And as far as undergraduate and PhD degrees are concerned, it's a special place. But as far as undergraduate is concerned, BTech degree, teaching, graduation will make the perception.
And also one more important thing is the teaching and research also connected, because unless you have faculty, research cannot come. Unless you recruit the faculty, research outcome cannot be there. So these two are also connected. So what I am trying to say, all these factors are interconnected. This is what I wanted to say. All these factors are interconnected. They are directly influencing teaching total score. They are also indirectly influencing each other. This is where I am trying to see. That is where don't look at each item. Let us try to look at integrated manner. This is what I am trying to tell you. Look at all these parameters together. Don't look at in isolation. This is what is one important issue. So that one will complement another. So one you are doing good, and sometimes what happens, you are good at one area, so you are not good other area. So wherever you are good, you try to improve the profile in that area so that you can get better score. And wherever you are weak, you try to improve it gradually. But wherever you are strong, I think you try to reach 100%. Yeah, please.
I am citing one or two example. Suppose as far as management is concerned, IIT Kharagpur is in 5th place, and if you look at the scores, its scores are quite good as far as teaching is concerned, research is concerned, graduation is concerned, outreach is concerned. But its perception is bad due to its look. And IIT Kharagpur cannot do anything. And as far as engineering is concerned, IIT Kanpur and IIT Kharagpur, as far as perception low score is concerned, that is because of their location only, and that they cannot do anything on that.
And also sometimes what happens
location matters.
I know. Sometimes what happens is the engineering institution, MBA institution in IIT also will not be perceived great, because always IIT means total. Even you are doing great being a management institution, the perception may not be that high, because they have to always compare with other standalone business schools like IIMs and other business schools. This is also one problem. We are not getting into the minute details. Here only my idea is, what I wanted to communicate is funding is required. Unless you have funding, infrastructure cannot be developed. Unless you recruit the faculty, you cannot have teachers. Unless you increase the infrastructure, you cannot assure the students quality of teaching and the quality of research. Unless you ensure quality of teaching and research, you cannot get better students from other than your place. So unless you have other than your state place, students coming from other than your place, you can't expect international students to come to you. This is kind of a challenge. And how do we attract international faculty? This is another kind of a challenge, because unless institutions are able to generate their own revenues, they may not be able to hire international faculty for their stay, for their accommodation, for their salary. So that means we are now almost pushing the institutions to be self-sustainable. But unless the problem is, if you increase the tuition fee, most of the students may not opt you. This is another kind of a problem. So if you increase the tuition fee in a public institution, There are so many restrictions. In a public institution, you cannot offer a program by charging 3 lakh, 4 lakh tuition fee. You may have to charge with the nominal tuition fee. And the government is not giving you enough funding. Then as a consequence, you are unable to manage your infrastructure. You are unable to recruit your faculty. These are all issues. I am not denying that their issues are not there. But at least, at this point in time, we need to have some kind of awareness about the factors. And whether we like it or not, we may have to participate in the process. When you are participating, you are trying to do, we are trying to do that, things should go little carefully. And with all the given constraints, what I'm trying to say. Maybe tomorrow what we can argue, I might not be competing with VIT or SRM or Manipal or TAPI kind of BITS kind of institutions. But tomorrow I can say among the government engineering colleges where I am standing, among the government funded institutions, because all government funded institutions barring NITs and IITs, they may have a similar funding. So among these people with the same constraints, where I am standing, this is what I think, it gives us an opportunity for the kind of a introspection. This is what only I'm trying to say. And we are not here to discuss, debate, judge. The only thing is, given the local constraints, in spite of the local constraints, how do we enhance our scores? This is the challenge. So what I have done here, for all this university management, engineering, all this together, all the variables I have listed here. What are the variables which are influencing your NIRF ranking? Number 1, student strength. Number 2, faculty-student ratio. Number 3, faculty with PhD. Number 4, faculty experience. Number 5, total average annual expenditure. Number 6, average annual capital expenditure. Number 7, operational or recurring expenditure. 8, number of publications. Number 9, total citation. If you look at these parameters, so more the students, less the students, less the faculty-student ratio, more faculty-student ratio, and more faculty with PhD, all faculty members with PhD, that is going to give you a better score. And all faculty maximum score. And total average annual expenditure, average annual capital expenditure, how much you are investing, capital expenditure, and operational expenditure or recurring expenditure. What is your recurring expenditure? Because unless you get the grants, you cannot spend. So unless you generate the revenue, you cannot spend. So we have been discussing about it, and citations also to do with that. Then average annual consultancy amount. This is also another important aspect. They are now trying to look at annual consultancy amount. The average annual earnings from full-time executive development programs. So how many FDPs you are conducting, full-time executive EDPs, FDPs, whatever revenue you are generating. Placement through campus placement. So what percentage of students are placed? Selected for higher studies. How many of your students are selected for higher studies? Number of sustained spin-off companies. How many of your students have become entrepreneurs and started some companies? Passing the university examination stipulated time. Median salary of the graduates. What is the salary you are trying to get? Students enrolled from other states. Students enrolled from other countries. Women faculty and students. Women members in senior administrative positions. Economically and socially challenged students. Physically challenged students. Peer perception. Institution heads, professionals from reputed organizations, officials of funding agencies in government, private sector, NGOs. Peer perception, this is large category of academics to ascertain their preference for graduates of different institutions. I think these are the consolidated list of 29 factors, which are going to make a lot of difference in your NIRF ranking. This is what I think, to put everything at one place, out of which certain things are in our hand, certain things are in our hand. So I think, we need to take care of these things where we can improve, where we cannot improve. I think, things where we can improve, all faculty should have PhD, number 1. And number 2, if you are going to have a fresh recruitment, you make it mandatory that only PhDs to be selected. So that means, you are not going to recruit anybody without PhD. And experienced faculty, and of course your budgets and the grants. Then consultancy, encourage faculty to do consultancy. For them you start giving the incentives, campus recruitment, campus placement, and then the higher studies, of course, then salary, then Other states, that's what I was discussing about. Other countries, women faculty. So what percentage of women faculty, what percentage of women students are there? Women members in senior administrative positions. So how many women faculty members are deans, heads, principals, directors, registrars, finance officers, whatever. And also people with disability and economically and socially weaker students. I think these are the kind of list of exhaustive list of NIRF. And also there are 7 criteria in the NAC. Out of that, I have taken up some items which are having some kind of a overlap with our NIRF ranking and also ranking, QS ranking, other rankings. So curricular aspects, number 1, curriculum design and development, curricular planning and implementation, academic flexibility, curriculum enrichment, feedback system, teaching, learning and evaluation, student enrollment and profile, catering to student diversity, teaching learning process, teacher profile and quality, evaluation process and reforms, student performance and learning outcomes, student satisfaction survey, physical facilities, library as a learning resource, IT infrastructure, maintenance of campus infrastructure. So these are the factors I have taken from the NAC criteria. And if you improve them, automatically they have a connection with our NIRF issues. If you improve NIRF, it will link with NAC. So that is one more suggestion what I am trying to give. Don't look at each of these parameters independently. Look at all the parameters in the integrated manner, all the ranking parameters and ranking frameworks in a kind of integrated manner. And you don't work for the ranking. You work for your own objectives and vision, mission. In the process, you are going to get the rank. So don't be worried too much about the ranking. But rankings are important, but automatically ranking should come when you are doing your job. And my final comment is we need to improve our documentation procedures. Documentation procedures, especially in our institutions, we may do a lot of activities, but we will not carry the record. We will not maintain the record. I think the one solution could be e-governance. We need to move towards e-governance, and that e-governance is going to address most of the issues and the electronic documents, electronic reports. I think we need to encourage our faculty to get into this kind of activities so that we can improve the system. Based on all this feedback, I think you can go for action plan for your own institution. So with this, I think I will conclude here. So I thought of sensitizing all of you how we can improve our system. So for which we have made some attempt to understand the whole ranking framework and the challenges, issues, problems. In spite of all this, how do we go about and what are the problems? And if you wanted to go back and after at the end of this program, if you wanted to improve your institution ranking, tomorrow you will be the academic administrator or leader of your own institution. Then how do you improve the ranking profile? This is what I think I have some points to make. Thank you very much. I'll stop here.
Participants, those who have any questions, you can ask, or else we'll wind up the session. Does anyone have any questions? You can also ask in chat box, or else you can unmute yourself and you can ask. Sir, I think
Sir,
there
I
is
have
no
one
question.
question.
Yes, madam.
Sir, how much do you feel that the rankings under maybe NIRF or maybe in NAC grades and NBA grades help to get the students? Because as per the market, I have seen that hardly students go and see that because they are not aware of that many times.
No, I think that will improve the situation. I think tomorrow when there are many institutions, and once you look at our national education policy, they are going to discontinue this affiliating system. Each institution is going to be independent and they are going to award the degrees. Then obviously they are trying to look at each institution profile. They may not be able to. Today they are going by the affiliating university. Tomorrow they look at the institution itself. I think then that these ranking parameters are going to be important.
But sir, it may affect the quality also.
No, ranking should improve the quality. I don't think ranking is going to dilute the quality.
No, it won't dilute it. But if it will become a rat race, the only ranking fulfillment will become the goal of the institution rather than deliver a proper.
See, now these two are linked. They are not independent. See, quality and ranking. I don't think, none of the parameters here are nothing to do with quality. But if you have too much of quantification and for the sake of, for example, I know some private universities are giving incentives for Scopus publication. And the teachers are, keep on publishing in third rated Scopus journals. So not that, there are in Scopus also, we have very top impact factor and low impact factor. They are aiming for low impact factor Scopus journals and they keep on publishing there. But when they go for a QS ranking or other rankings, these journals are not counted. Because of that, there's a low impact factor and the low reputation. This is one danger we have. See, always, when we go for too much of quantification, there will be a problem. That is where always the judgment should be quantitative and qualitative. Today, if you look at our NAC also, they have given a proportion of quantitative and qualitative. They are not simply going by quantitative, they're also going by qualitative.
Yes.
I think we need to balance these two, quantity and quality. And I'm not saying that, ranking is only the ultimate aim of the institution to get. But we need to also, whatever you are doing, you should also be visible in our numbers. That's what I think we are trying to look at. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any other questions? Sir, I think there is no other questions. We'll wind up the session, sir.
Sir, hello,
Thank you.
sir. Am I audible?
Yes, please. Yes,
Yeah.
please, madam.
How we can improve the citations, sir? Because many times we write paper and we know somebody has referred our paper, but still we don't get citations for our papers.
The citations can come when you publish your paper in a top-notch journal, because there are some journals are now asking, when you are writing your review of literature and citing the paper, you should cite your paper with a minimum of a so-and-so impact factor journal. Some journals are asking for it. So you cannot cite from wherever we like. So then your journals are published, papers are published in a better journal. There is a more chance for citation, number one. Number two, the nature of the problem, nature of the area. For example, there are some people, they publish good journal, but that area is not much researched. Then you may not get the citations. There are some people, especially very popular areas, when they do the research, they have more citations. So it doesn't mean that, the citations alone is going to determine the quality of research. It also influences the journal. Sometimes we may publish in a third-rated journal, but still you get more citations because nature of the work, the nature of the topic, I can say, the area. Sometimes, some paper you are publishing in a better journal, but area is not that popular, you may not get the citations. So what we need to understand is the contemporary topics. If you do research in the past, I think paper, doing approach that is innovative there, then definitely you may have more citations, but it is not uniformly applicable to all the disciplines and all the areas. Within the discipline also, some areas are more cited, some areas are less cited. So we can't help. But within that area, how are you doing is very important. For example, your area is very much narrow. But among that narrow area, whoever is working, whether are you able to get some citations when compared to them? For example, I have about 560 or 570 citations for my research. But out of which, about 300 citations or 280 citations I have got from papers which are in higher education, service quality in higher education, quality of higher education. So that means, but that is what I have done a better research in supply chain management, but I could not get many citations for that. But this is education area. Several people are citing that work. But it doesn't mean that, this education work is great and supply chain work is less. So this is one issue we have. But the only suggestion is the more contemporary topics, more relevant topics, the topics of more interest. If you do that, you may have more citations in that. And if you publish in a better journals, more people will have access to that and they start citing that work because more standard. This is what only I can say.
Sir, I have one small question. What is the ideal impact factor which we should see it? Which are the good journals give the impact factor?
First of all,
How you measure it?
the impact factor given by the journal, self-acclaimed impact factors, don't go by them. There are some journals, predatory journals, also claiming that 5, 6, 7, 8 impact factor. Don't go by them. So we have to look at that Thomson Reuters, their impact factor list. I think that is a scientific kind of a list, and they try to keep on doing very scientific analysis and try to do that. So based on that, you look at that impact factor. Sometimes is good, even it is 0.9, 0.8, 1.1, 1.2 impact factor is also good. It all depends on, again, subject. In management, impact factors are different. In sociology, impact factors are different. In sciences, I know some of my colleagues who are publishing with the 16 impact factor, 19 impact factor, 9 impact factor. One of our alumni from sciences, he went to US for a postdoc. He published in 42 impact factor journal. So it all depends. We can't say that what is good, what is bad. Sometimes even 1.1 also can be better, provided that from where it is being published. That is also very important. Either Elsevier, Sayes, Taylor and Francis, Wiley, or maybe Emerald. I think we have various kinds of groups. So that is also going to make the difference. But we can't say what is good, what is bad. But there are some reputed institutions, while shortlisting the candidates, they are now keeping a criteria of impact factor 3 or impact factor 4. They only consider those journals. I think you should have published at least 4 papers or 5 papers in impact factor journals of so and so. That is how they are trying to do, but it varies from department to department and generalize.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and thank you, participants. We can end the session now. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. All the best.